As some of you may know, or maybe you don't, Twilight Princess is one of my favorite Zelda games ever. Actually, it is my favorite. There's obviously a lot of things that this game does so well, but there's a selected few that I really wanted to dive into and talk about. Some that I feel like people overlook. I watched this video, The Most Misunderstood Zelda Game, from Internet Pit Stop a couple months ago, and it made me want to talk about my experience with Twilight Princess and some of the things that he didn't talk about, but also shed some light on some things he did mention. Twilight Princess has always been close to my heart. It was the first Zelda game I have ever played, and I have so many memories of playing it with my dad when I was a kid. I've never seen problems with it, but it seems like the Zelda community disagrees. Before Twilight Princess came out, people were upset with how Wind Waker was and thought it was too, quote-unquote, childish. Which is crazy to think about because I feel like nowadays people love Wind Waker and its style. They even refer to the art style as timeless and ahead of its time. This is a common theme we see within the Zelda community, but it seems like Twilight Princess is the main game people are constantly changing their minds on. Which is ironic, you know, because Twilight, the in-between of dark and light, in between positives and negatives of the game. Am I making any sense? On another note, whenever I tell people Twilight Princess is my favorite Zelda game, I get one of these three responses. That's an interesting game. I don't know, Ocarina of Time is better. And of course, my favorite. Oh, Majora's Mask is so much darker and has such a better storyline. I mean, there's also the I've never heard of that response, but I get it. I understand, okay? Twilight Princess is very dark color-wise, while Majora's Mask is very traumatizing. I agree that Majora's Mask is a great game. I've seen tons of videos on it and have yet to play it myself. I won't push that aside when I'm talking about this, but saying that when I mention my favorite game makes me question. Do you know the storyline of Twilight Princess? I personally think Twilight Princess is thrown to the side far too much. The way Twilight Princess sets up the connection with the other characters in the game is so unique, and I'm glad they did it the way they did. If you're doing your first playthrough of Twilight Princess, it may feel like they're spending a lot of time in the beginning just in Ordon Village, but it's crucial for later on in the story. They want you to feel bored at the beginning of the game. They want you to get annoyed with talking to the same people for far too long. That's the point. The connections you make in the beginning with the kids, Tallow, Mallow, Beth, and especially Colin and Alia, along with some of the adults in Ordon Village, tend to really make you feel for them when something bad or good happens to them later on. For example, when the kids get knocked out, when Alia loses her memory, Colin gets kidnapped, when you finally get reunited with the kids, and when you end up saving a bunch of other characters, you genuinely feel connected to them and care for their well-being. Moving on to the topic of the storyline, even Link in Twilight Princess has an interesting story to him on his own. In other Zelda games, he's the chosen one from the beginning, and he knows he has to save all of Hyrule because it's what he was destined to do. However, in Twilight Princess, he's just a farm boy from day one, and you get to experience that boring life. You're telling me I had to herd goats 2 times before I got into the actual hero saving stuff? Even though it was annoying, I really liked that they did that. It shows that he didn't expect any of the upcoming stuff to happen in the first place. You spend the beginning of the game helping his neighbors and his small town with some normal tasks, and then one morning when he's dealing with Alia like normal, all of a sudden he gets knocked out. It is so important that they show us this boring farm life he had, because later on in the game you're off riding on a dragon's back while in a city that's in the sky. The life he once knew was now gone. He had to step up and save all of Hyrule. Could you imagine? I mean, he's a teen in this game. I'm talking 16, 17. That's around my age. I could not imagine having to save an entire country right now. Now, I think most of you can agree with me that Midna is one of the best companions we have ever had in the Zelda series. Not because of obvious reasons, but the way we interact with her throughout the entire game, and the way that she changes and grows. Again, it makes us feel more connected. We're showed from the beginning it's clear that all she cares about is saving the Twilight, even if that means harming the Light Realm. I touched on this in my past video of why Link turns into a wolf theory video, but to restate, throughout the game she starts to realize the importance of caring for both sides. You may not notice it if you don't care much about her while playing, but by the end of the game, you'll see that she did in fact change. She shows you that she cares for you instead of hiding it with her sassy attitude that she once had. We watched Zelda tell her at the end that the shadow and light are two sides of the same coin. One cannot exist without the other. I really think throughout the entire game, Midna has come to learn this, which makes her such a good companion. You watch her become more of a friend to Link rather than just someone bossing you around. It really shows how much their dynamic has changed since the beginning. She's not degrading him like she once did when Link was in the jail cell. She actually cares for Link and the Light World. Speaking of the jail, let's talk about atmosphere.
Hey guys, it's me, Link. I bet you guys didn't expect to see me on screen. I mean, I'm not Slows. I'm Link. Like, look at me. Instead of looking at me, look at... This landscape is beautiful. Look at this! This landscape's a good example of how good atmosphere can get in Zelda games, especially Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess does an incredible job when it comes to atmosphere, whether that be the light or the dark. It's called Twilight Princess after all. For example, Sacred Grove. This place is beautiful, but it does a really good job at making you feel alone. Alone, but still at peace. The trickling of the water along with all the other nature sounds and the birds really makes it feel like you are in this woods. Along with the Sacred Grove, Snow Peak is also an incredible example. While it's entirely different than what the Sacred Grove is, it still has its own unique and different atmosphere to it. And these two places aren't too far apart if you really think about it. This atmosphere is different, but still so good. All you can hear in Snow Peak is just the wind. I mean, it is interrupted by some bell tones, but it's just quiet. It paints such a great picture of how alone this mountain is, how cold it is. I swear I can feel it on my face. This game is really good at making you feel alone, whether it's in a sad way or in a calming way. The graveyard in Kakariko Village, Hyrule Field at night, and sometimes even Ordon Village. Which is ironic because at the beginning of the game, it's bustling with all these people, yet it can still make you feel alone at times. The atmosphere in this game after the twilight hits really makes the player feel the urgency and the need to save Hyrule. Even in these empty spaces, all of the people are lost to the twilight. They're spirits. You can't see them. They can't see you. Unless you're in wolf form. But in the case you're not, you can feel their presence missing. Moving on from the atmosphere in the outside world of Hyrule, the atmosphere in dungeons are also just as incredible, if not more. The first time I walked into Arbiter's grounds, I was terrified. I mean, what the fuck am I? It felt so empty, destroyed. You can feel the sadness of the place, just like some places I've gone urbexing to. Let's 2.0 the atmosphere inside the dungeons plays a huge part on the boss fights within the dungeons. Without the atmosphere, the bosses wouldn't feel as big and as important as they do if there just wasn't such great atmosphere. The bosses would still be great, but the setup to it is what makes it so scary. Each of the dungeons in this game are unique and interesting. Even though the Oakos are still weird, their home, the city in the sky, it's a great dungeon. I won't lie anymore. It's a good dungeon. Even though they still creep me out, the fact that an MC Escher was the inspiration behind the design of this dungeon just makes the atmosphere of it so much cooler. This game does so well with the lighter and happier sides of the game. You'd think the dark wouldn't be as great because of how much effort they put into the light, right? You'd be wrong. Again, it's called Twilight Princess. Even the way they set up how you're first introduced to the Twilight is so eerie and just nerve-wracking. Even later on in the game, when you enter the Twilight Palace for the first time, it still gives you that feeling of, I shouldn't be here. The citizens of the Twilight Princess just stand there, and behind them the black waterfalls. What is that? And then, for example, look at something like Lake Hylia. This is the same game. It's so good. They're both so good. And what really sets up the atmosphere is the music.
I've talked about the music throughout Zelda's existence, but I truly think that the best of the best is in Twilight Princess. The music throughout the entire game is what makes this game so great. Even from the beginning, the title screen music shows the kind of adventure you're going to have. Even at the end of it, you can hear Midna's lament slightly, which just shows how much importance she's going to have throughout the entire game. The Ordon Village theme is super homey and calm. It really feels like, well, you're home. Even the dungeons, once again, really makes it like you were in fact in a dungeon. Even the Snow Peak Ruins dungeon. The instruments they use makes it sound like ice blocks getting hit, and it makes you feel like you're surrounded in ice and cold winds. Don't even get me started on the music that plays when you interact with the Twilight. When you're in the Twilight, the music that plays makes it truly feel like you are in danger, but also alone at the same time. I wish I knew more about music theory so I could understand why the music in this game makes us feel this way. There's so many different areas in this game that feel so different from the rest. Like the Hidden Village? When did I enter the Wild West? Even in Sacred Grove, the theme is just Lost Woods from Ocarina, but they changed it to feel darker and more nostalgic? Along with the Temple of Time, the music makes the temple feel like a place of importance. The sadness Midna's lament brings, with the solo piano, with the rain and the game, along with the urgency, it makes you feel like you are saving her. It's so good. Let alone the way you have to interact with the Link from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask is through howling the music from those games, just like how you would have played it on an ocarina. With great atmosphere and music, there has to be great bosses and dungeons. We touched on the dungeons earlier a little bit, but I wanted to say more about it. The layouts of these dungeons and the mini-boss fights inside are so uniquely designed. Straight from the start, the Forest Temple. It's just this huge tree near the Sacred Grove. Having the monkeys guide you throughout the dungeon was such a smart move on their end. I mean, even the monkey from the mini-boss fight helps you in the final boss by giving you bombs. This game does so well with including a reason for you to be defeating the boss in this dungeon, rather than just having to be collecting the fragments. Going on to smaller things that make this game so much more intriguing, I love how you can just run around Hyrule and collect bugs. Yeah, it only lets you expand your wallet size, but it's still so fun to do. Along with that, the mini games you find all around Hyrule and especially in Castletown. And of course, I can't forget to mention the dogs and cats. You can pick them up. This alone is enough of a reason for you to love this game. I mean, come on, what other Zelda game allows you to pick up a dog, let alone play fetch? It's the perfect cherry on top this game needed. Overall, Twilight Princess is a great game, and there are some flaws, but the pros weigh out the cons heavily in my eyes. I really enjoyed Twilight Princess, and being able just to talk about it to my heart's content was really fun for me. I really hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I hope you guys liked my Link outfit. The tunic was handmade for me and everything. I really like it. I thought it would be cool to wear in this video. It even won me $100 for getting first place in a costume contest. But enough nerding out, don't forget to subscribe and check out my other channels. I've been working on more videos for Zlitz 2.0, and me and my friend Letho have been working on some double tap videos ideas still. We have some in the works and more ideas to start working on, so stay tuned. Please join my Discord server in the description. You'll get most updates for this channel on there, and it's really fun to talk to everyone else in the community. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.